Take it from me when I say that solo traveling is not for everyone. If you plan on solo traveling in 2025, ask yourself these 8 questions first. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm Minnie and these are 8 essential questions to develop the mindset of a solo traveler. Answering these questions may mean the difference between your dream trip and a total disaster. Solo or separate together? Like many things in life, there are levels to solo traveling. If you want to take a trip but don't want to be completely solo, you may think about group retreats or trips in the destination of your choice. Both have their own benefits, but going solo means you are not bound to anyone else's time. You don't have to have any awkward conversations with strangers that you're stuck on a bus with. But it also means every little detail is on your shoulders. However, going separate but together, you're able to make friends, get new ideas for your current trip or for future trips. And you may even make lifelong friends. Do you have a home base that knows your location and where you are headed? If you're a spontaneous traveler like me, you may book a flight last minute to, say, Thailand. No matter how spontaneous you are or how independent you are trying to be, it's always important for somebody to know where you're going, where you're headed, and what accommodations you plan on staying at. At the very least, have your phone location. Outside of English-speaking countries, do you have a way to communicate? While many countries encourage their citizens to learn English, outside of most tourist locations, you may find areas where English is not widely spoken. Will you be able to communicate with the locals, ask for help, ask for direction? Yes, there are apps for that. However, in more rural areas, Wi-Fi can be sketchy, batteries die, and sometimes these translation apps are not 100% correct for every language, and you can end up insulting somebody by not knowing which app to use. It's always best to learn a few choice phrases that you can use in a pinch. In line with can you communicate, are you comfortable with asking strangers for help? No matter how prepared you are with your backup batteries, portable Wi-Fi, printed maps, I promise you there will come a time where you have to ask somebody for help. And from one introvert to another, it will save you a lot of time if you can push past your anxiety and ask for help. Because truth be told, odds are you're going to have to ask for help for the same situation more than once. I remember shopping in Korea and I was looking for a yarn store, but it was in this huge 5-floor building and there were tiny shops on every floor. And I got lost and I asked for help. The first lady, I couldn't understand what she said at all. I had asked for help so well, she assumed I was better at Korean than I was, and she spit off these rapid fire instructions. Therefore, I had to ask somebody else. This second person pointed me in the wrong direction, so I went wandering even farther from where I was supposed to be going. Until finally I asked a third person. They gave me directions, but a fourth person actually walked me there to where I needed to go. Have you ever asked for directions and somebody else heard them giving you the wrong instructions and now you have to decide who you're going to trust? How do you operate when stressed?
Wow, the pressure is getting worse.
Knowing yourself and how you operate in different situations is a big part of solo travel. Traveling in general can be very stressful. Traveling by yourself is a whole nother level of stress because there really is no one to lean on when things don't work out as planned. For instance, you might have a whole day planned outside, but then it starts raining. Or you made a reservation for this tour, but you were late because of traffic and it left without you. This is money that you paid, but now you don't get to experience. And how are you going to react in this situation? Because how you react when you are stressed can really define the mood of your trip. Are you a quick thinker? Being a quick thinker is the safest way to solo travel. Your phone is dying, you missed the last train, and you haven't seen a taxi in a while. What would you do in this situation? Not only is the situation stressful, but it also requires you to think on your feet. There is no wrong answer here, but you have to think quickly and whatever decision you make, stick to it. Waiting too long to make a decision can not only make you anxious, but it can signal to people who may not have the best intentions at heart that you are anxious and alone. Which brings me to my next question. Can you defend yourself? These questions are really not meant to intimidate you or stop you from solo traveling, but they are things you need to think about before going out in the world alone. Having some self defense moves or being confident enough in your ability to run or fight back really gives you this aura of protection, if you will. I can walk down a busy street in a foreign country confidently with my head held up because I'm not afraid to punch a stranger. I've been running 3 times a week, and now I know I can run for about 20 minutes before I start to feel too fatigued. Again, these are things we hope we will never need, but it's always good to know that you can do. And last but not least, do you have a way to get home? Of course, most people book a round trip, but that's not the case for everyone. But what if you missed your flight and you don't have enough for a return ticket? Do you have friends or family you can call? Is there an emergency credit card you have on file? Solo traveling can be a beautiful, life-changing experience. However, I feel that a lot of people, when they talk about solo traveling, they don't actually talk about the reality of solo traveling. You are alone. Every decision is your decision. If something goes wrong, you have to consider it your fault. And no matter how tired you are, you still have to make all of the decisions for yourself and for your own safety. I absolutely love solo traveling, but I have met a lot of people who were not prepared for the mental energy and the responsibility that came with solo traveling, and they have vowed to never solo travel again. Ask yourself these questions before booking your first solo trip. And if you still want to travel solo, make sure you have an answer for all these questions. And at the very least, don't give up on your dream to solo travel, but maybe travel in state before going out of country. If you have ever solo traveled, what are some questions you asked yourself before the trip? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more travel tips and language learning content.